Here's a video on how to make shapes in Illustrator. So open up a piece of paper in Illustrator, go file, new folder, new picture, and you can make it any size you want. If you know that your design, you want to keep it within a certain size, and make your page that size. So anyhow, a couple things really quick here. Over on the sidebar menu over here, you're gonna see this shape maker. If I hold this down, a little menu comes out, and then if I pull over and click on this bar right on the side here, I've got a little portable menu that I can move around, okay? I like that one. There's another one that I like with pens. So if I hold the pen menu down, I got this pen tool, okay? And then there's a third menu that I like, and it's the pencil menu. If I hold that down, I get this menu. So with these three menus, you can make just about any shape that you want. So let me show you a couple things really quick. With the shape maker, this one, if I click on this one, it'll make a rectangle, okay? If I want to fill that in, go over to swatches and pick any color you want, and you can fill it in with any color you want, okay? Now, for our shapes right now, I'm just gonna keep it light, and I'm all gonna, if you click on this box, this is the outline. So I can make the outline any color on, but we're gonna keep it black, and I want a black outline that has a stroke of 3 or 4. Okay, so how do you get that? If I go to properties, a menu comes up, and what it does, it shows stroke right here. Now watch my stroke up close here. Right now I'm gonna click on, it's on a 1. If I click on 2, you're gonna see the line around that shape get fatter. So I'm gonna go with a stroke of about 3, should be just fine for what we're doing right now. Okay, so I'm gonna go back over to my shape maker, and now if I wanna make a square, I grab the rectangle, hold my shift key down, and I can make a perfect square. Now with the oval, you can make an oval, or you can hold your shift key down and make a perfect oval. Next, I can make a polygon tool. If I click on this one, a little screen will come up. It'll say, how many sides do you wanna have? So if I want a 6-sided shape, there's my 6-sided shape, okay? Let's say I wanted a 5-sided shape. I click on that same thing, and a little box will come up, and you can change that to 5, and I got a 5-sided shape. Well, you could do a 4-sided shape, but it wouldn't make sense because you can just use a rectangle to do that. Let's say I want to make a triangle. Click on here, click there, and I can go boom, 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 and get a 3-sided shape, and I've got a triangle. Now, once your triangle is there, remember you can make any of these sizes bigger. And all you gotta do is go to your general selection tool, that's this arrow right up here. And if I grab that, if I grab the corner, I can make it bigger, longer, stretch it, do whatever I want. If I hold the shift key down though, then when I make it bigger, it'll keep the same proportions. See that? If I don't hold the shift key down, I might make it tall or skinny or fat or whatever. So I'm gonna hold the shift key down, and that's how I make things bigger. Now, another thing I can do, I can move just corners of some of these. So if I go up here to my direct select tool, that's this one, and now if I click on my shape right on the line, you're gonna see these little boxes that are gonna show up, little empty boxes. They look like tiny little open circles. Then I can grab one of those, and I can move just one of those points. Okay, and I can do that with any of these other shapes. Watch, I'll do this with I get that open shape, and I can grab that corner. So with this menu right here, these things, I can make squares. This is a rounded cornered rectangle. Let me show you how to do that. So if I go here, I can make a rectangle with a rounded corner, and if I grab this part here, I can make it very rounded like that, or just a little bit rounded like this, like a TV set, or I can do something like this where it's almost like a sausage, okay? So that's how I can make shapes, and I can quickly grab those, go to my swatches, and make them any color that I want. Oh, I'm gonna make the inside any color. So I can make the inside any color that I want very quickly and very easily. That's a great way to make shapes, okay? Now, another way to make shapes. I'm just gonna go in my general selection tool, and I'm gonna clear this screen and get rid of all these shapes right now. I'll hit delete, they're all gone. Now another way to make shapes is to go to my pen tool. This is the pen tool right here. And my pen tool, I will click a straight line between anything that I do. So if I go like this, you can see that I can make my shape with straight lines like that. And then just reconnect, and I've got a shape that's made of straight lines, okay? Now, if I want to make a shape that has curvy lines though, okay, I'm going to go to my pencil tool. Now the pencil tool, I would recommend using your pen tool to do that. So I click on the pencil tool, and now you can see I can make a shape just about any size that I want, like that. If I reconnect, I got a really nice looking curve, okay? Now, if I go to, this is called the smooth tool. If I run it along the edge of here, it'll smooth that out. So if you want to change your curve a little bit, it'll really smooth it out. Because sometimes, let me go back to the pencil, you may have a shape that's a little bit shaky, you know, like that. And you think, I want to smooth that out. So go to your smooth tool, and you can smooth that out. It'll smooth the curves down a little bit. It'll smooth it out a little bit and change that shape. So between these three menus, once again, my shapes I can make with these, okay? If I want to make straight shapes, I can use my pen tool. If I want to make shapes that curve, then I'll use my pencil tool, and then I can smooth it out. So that's how I make shapes. Now, next thing, if you want to make perfect shapes, but you want to cut shapes out of other shapes, watch this. I'm going to make, this time I'm going to go to my circle, and I'm going to hold my shift key down, and I'm going to make a circle, and for just so you can see it better, I'm going to make it green. Okay, now I'm going to place a rectangle over the top of it. Okay, I'm going to make that one a different color and make it brown. Okay, now, if I select both of those at the same time, I'm going to go to window up here, and I'm going to open something called Pathfinder. Pathfinder's down here, and this little box comes up here. Now, this is what Pathfinder does. You can create multiple, watch what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to select, I take my selection tool and I select both the rectangle and the circle here. Then I click on this one in Pathfinder, and what happens, it combines it into one shape. Okay, I'm going to do Control Z and undo that. Now if I do this one, this will take the top shape out of the bottom one and leave that what's left. So if I want a perfect half circle, I would do that. Okay, this shape will do the intersection of the two. Let me just grab this top one, just a top rectangle, and I'm going to put it like that, okay? And I'm going to select them both again, and I'm going to go to Pathfinder and do this, and this will leave the intersection of the two, okay? Now, this shape will leave what's not intersecting. Let's go back. That's even more complicated. I seldom use this. I've used it like twice, and that'll leave those two shapes. Don't need to use that very often, but I would say the first three here, these first three, you'll use a lot, okay? Especially the first two, okay? So that's how you can combine shapes and make different shapes. So suppose you wanted to make like a perfect shape, like a keyhole-like shape. So what I could do is I could go with like a rectangle, or I know, let's make one that's like a silo. Then I would take a circle, and I could place my circle over the top of this right here. And I'm going to make my circle a little bigger. Grab just a circle. Okay, and now I have this circle over the top of that rectangle. If I combine them, I'll get something that looks like a silo. Okay, so you can see how you can make different shapes in Illustrator that are really nice, got smooth edges and great. So this works great for when you're designing your shapes for, if you're designing your shapes for your stained glass design, you can use this. I would say most of you, if you're gonna do a design that is representational, like let's say a small bird, then you're probably gonna be using this one here where you can draw shapes that aren't, like let's say you had a leaf shape, you might do that. Okay, now one other thing, let's say I want to make a leaf shape and I want to divide this up into little veiny lines. Now this is a little bit of an issue. If I draw another line on here sometimes, what it does is the computer thinks you want to redo that shape. So this is how to avoid that. I'm going to take my selection tool up here. I'm going to click on this shape that I make, and then I'm going to go up here where it says Object, lock selection. Now that leaf is locked. Now I could divide this up. I could take my pencil and divide it up into some lines like so. So I'll do that, and then I might lock that line. So I'm going to go Object, Lock. Ooh, I goofed up. I'm going to go Object. No, let's click on just the line once. I'm going to select just this line, and I'm going to go Object, Lock, Selection. And then I could come in here with my pen again, and I could draw some more shapes. So I might do something like this. So if that was how I was going to do my stained glass, that's how I would divide areas up into shapes that I could cut out in stained glass. Now, this one, though, the problem with this, I won't be able to put multiple colors in all these different sections because really there's only one shape here, and that's the one behind. So if I wanted to put different greens in here, I would have to do that in Illustrator. So I would bring that back, into Photoshop. I'd bring that back into Photoshop. I would go File, Export, Export As, and I can change it to a JPEG and bring it into Photoshop and play around with the colors. Okay? That's it for now.